The maid froze when she heard her name echo through the crowded boardroom. Every executive turned to look at her, still holding a cleaning cart, still wearing her faded uniform, while the billionaire at the head of the table stood up and said, "This woman is the reason my company survives today." He wasn't defending her out of kindness. He wasn't protecting her out of love. He had hired her to fix his broken public image after a scandal threatened to destroy everything he built. She was supposed to be invisible, temporary, useful. What no one in that room knew was that the quiet maid he hired to save his reputation was slowly taking control of his heart and forcing him to face the man he had become. Stay with this story till the end, because the real shock isn't who he pretends to be for the world. It's who he becomes when the mask finally falls. The first rule Raphael Caine lived by was simple: never let emotions interfere with power. That rule had built him an empire. Raphael stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse office, watching the city bend beneath him. Cars moved like ants. People hurried with purpose that didn't matter. From up here, everything looked small, controllable. Except today. "Sir," his assistant said carefully from behind him, "the board is demanding a response." Raphael didn't turn. They already got one. They want more than a statement. Sponsors are pulling out. Investors are nervous. They don't trust apologies anymore. Raphael's jaw tightened. The scandal had erupted 3 days ago. Photos taken out of context, headlines engineered for outrage, rumors weaponized into truth. He'd spent his life curating the image of a disciplined, untouchable billionaire. Now, the public saw him as cold, arrogant, and disconnected from ordinary people, which, annoyingly, wasn't entirely wrong. "They want to see humility," the assistant continued. "Relatability, humanity." Raphael laughed once, humorless. "I'm not running for office." "But your billion-dollar infrastructure contract is on the line. The committee won't sign unless they believe you've changed." Silence filled the room. Raphael finally turned. "Then we give them change." That was when he noticed her. She stood in front of the door, frozen, hands gripping the handle of her cleaning cart like it was a lifeline. She was black, young, maybe mid-20s, with natural curls pulled back neatly and eyes that widened the moment she realized she'd been seen. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "I didn't know there was a meeting. I can come back later." Raphael studied her without expression. Her uniform was plain, her posture respectful. She didn't fidget or beg or pretend she didn't exist. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated, then answered honestly. "Lena, sir." Raphael looked at his assistant. "How long has she worked here?" 3 months, night shifts mostly, no complaints." Raphael's gaze returned to Lena. "Do people like you?" Her brows knit together in confusion. "Sir? Do people trust you?" She swallowed. "I try to be kind to everyone." That was enough. "Clear my afternoon and cancel the PR consultants." His assistant blinked. "Sir? I found a better solution." Lena didn't understand what was happening until 2 hours later when she was seated across from Raphael at a polished marble table, a thick folder placed neatly in front of her. "I need you to help me fix my image," Raphael said calmly. Her hands trembled. "I clean floors, sir. And now you'll clean a reputation." She shook her head immediately. "I don't think I'm the right person." "You're exactly the right person. You're unknown, untainted, and you look like the kind of woman the public believes." "Believes what?" "That I can change." The room felt suddenly smaller. Raphael slid the folder toward her. "You'll attend a few public events with me. Charity visits, interviews, nothing complicated." Lena flipped the folder open, then froze. Her breath caught. "This says live-in arrangement. For appearances. And this part," her voice cracked, "this says personal companion." Raphael leaned back, completely composed. I'm not asking for romance, I'm asking for presence. You'll be seen, you'll speak when asked, you'll remind the world I'm human. And after? She asked quietly. After, he said, you'll never need to clean another floor again. Lena closed the folder slowly. She thought of the overdue rent notices, her mother's hospital bills, the exhaustion that never left her bones. This is temporary, she said. Yes. And I can leave any time? Within reason. She met his eyes for the first time, sharp blue against her steady brown. I won't lie for you, and I won't pretend to be someone I'm not. Raphael's lips curved slightly. Good, that's exactly what I need. Neither of them knew it then, but the moment she agreed wasn't the moment her life changed. It was the moment his control began to slip. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe, because what happens next will change everything. Lena's first public appearance as part of Raphael Kane's carefully constructed redemption plan happened 3 days later. She didn't know it yet, but the moment she stepped out of the car, the story stopped being about image management and started becoming something far more dangerous. The black luxury sedan slowed in front of a children's charity center on the east side of the city. Cameras were already waiting. Lena could see them through the tinted window, lenses pointed, reporters murmuring, anticipation thick in the air. Her fingers curled into the fabric of the modest cream dress the stylist had insisted she wear. It wasn't expensive looking, that was the point. Raphael wanted approachable, not intimidating. You're shaking, Raphael said quietly beside her. I've never done this before, Lena replied, keeping her voice low. Everyone's watching. That's the idea. She turned to him. You said this wasn't about pretending. It's not, he said calmly. Just be yourself. Lena exhaled slowly. Being herself had never drawn cameras before. The door opened. Light flooded in. Noise followed. Raphael stepped out first, his presence commanding as always. The crowd leaned forward instantly. Then Lena followed, her heart pounding, her posture straight even as fear pressed against her chest. Whispers rippled. That's her? Who is she? Is that his girlfriend? Raphael didn't reach for her hand. He didn't guide her. He simply walked beside her, giving her space, as if daring the world to judge her without his protection. Inside the center, children ran between volunteers, laughter echoing off brightly painted walls. Lena felt her shoulders loosen without realizing it. This was familiar territory. She knelt easily, smiling as a little girl tugged at her sleeve. What's your name? Lena asked softly. Maya. That's a beautiful name. The cameras captured it all. The billionaire standing awkwardly to the side, while the maid he hired melted effortlessly into the room. Raphael watched silently. He'd expected optics. What he hadn't expected was the knot in his chest when he realized how natural she was. No performance, no calculation, just kindness. A reporter stepped forward. Mr. Kane, what inspired this visit? Raphael opened his mouth with a rehearsed answer ready. Lena spoke first. These kids deserve attention, not because it looks good, but because it matters. The room went quiet. Raphael turned to look at her, surprised. The reporter blinked. And you are? She hesitated, then said simply, someone who believes people come before profits. That clip went viral within hours. By the time they returned to the penthouse, Raphael's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. That was not in the plan, he said, loosening his tie. I told you not to lie, Lena replied calmly. He studied her. You didn't even look at the cameras. I wasn't there for them. Raphael should have been angry. Instead, he felt something unfamiliar, relief. You did well, he said finally. She nodded. I'm going to make dinner. He frowned slightly. You don't have to. I want to. Raphael watched from the kitchen doorway as she moved with quiet confidence, no hesitation, no expectation of praise. The penthouse, usually cold and pristine, felt warmer than it ever had. Later that night, as Lena prepared to retreat to the guest room, Raphael spoke again. Why did you agree to this? He asked. She paused. Because you needed help. That's not enough. She turned. It was for me. He waited. "I've spent my life invisible," said Lena. "If this gives me a chance to be seen without losing myself, then I'll take it." Raphael didn't respond. He didn't trust his voice. The next morning brought a board meeting. Lena wasn't supposed to attend, she knew that, but as she passed the open doors, she heard raised voices. "She's a liability. She doesn't belong here. This is a publicity stunt." Raphael's voice cut through the noise. "Enough." Lena stopped walking. "She stays," he continued. "This is not a debate." A pause. "With respect," one executive said, "you hired her to soften your image, not to speak for the company." Raphael stood. "She speaks for values this company forgot." Lena stepped back before anyone could see her. Later, she confronted him in private. "You didn't have to defend me." "Yes, I did." "I don't want to be the reason you lose control." Raphael laughed softly. "That already happened." She looked at him sharply. "What do you mean?" He didn't answer. That night, Lena couldn't sleep. The luxury bed felt too large, too quiet. She found herself wandering into the balcony, city lights blinking below. Raphael was already there. "You do this too?" she asked. He nodded. "When I can't think." She leaned against the railing. "People don't trust you." "I know. But they're starting to listen, not because of what you say, but because of what you allow." He turned to her. "And what am I allowing?" "Change." The word lingered between them. Raphael stepped closer without realizing it. Lena didn't move away. For a brief moment, the city disappeared. Then Raphael stepped back. "This arrangement remains professional," he said stiffly. Lena smiled faintly. "Of course." But as she returned to her room, she felt it clearly now. This wasn't just about fixing his image anymore. And Raphael, standing alone on the balcony, finally admitted something he'd been avoiding since the charity center. For the first time in years, he wasn't in control. The headlines changed tone almost overnight. What started as skepticism shifted into curiosity, then admiration. Who was the woman beside billionaire Raphael Caine? The maid who humanized a billionaire? Is this redemption or something real? Lena saw the articles by accident. She was folding laundry in the guest suite when a tablet buzzed with notifications she hadn't asked for. Her name, her face, her words pulled out of context and magnified. She shut the screen off, her chest tight. This wasn't what she wanted. Raphael found her later that evening, sitting on the edge of the bed, hands clasped. "You should have told me," she said before he could speak. "I didn't want to overwhelm you." "You hired me to be visible," she replied. "You don't get to decide how much." He accepted that, silently. The next public appearance was worse, a televised interview. They sat across from a well-dressed host, lights glaring, questions sharpened for impact. "Mr. Caine," the host smiled, "people are calling this the most dramatic shift in your public persona. Some say it's staged." Raphael leaned forward. "People are free to believe what they want." The host turned to Lena. "And you, what do you think of him?" The room held its breath. Lena met the camera without flinching. "I think people can change when they're willing to listen." Raphael's fingers tightened around the armrest. "And has he listened to you?" "Yes." That answer spread like wildfire. Backstage, Raphael finally let his frustration surface. "You're becoming the story." "I didn't ask for that." "You're powerful," he snapped, "and you don't even realize it." She looked at him calmly. "Power isn't control. It's responsibility." That night, they argued. Not about contracts or appearances, but about boundaries. "You're blurring lines," Raphael said. "You are," Lena corrected. "You want authenticity without vulnerability." "That's not how this works." "That's exactly how it works," she said quietly. "You can't borrow humanity." The words hit harder than any headline. Days later, trouble came from inside. A leaked memo, a board member questioning Lena's influence, investors demanding limits. Raphael was called into an emergency meeting. "You're risking everything," they warned him. "She's a symbol, not a partner." Raphael stood. "Then you've misunderstood what I'm building." He walked out. When he returned home, Lena was packing. "I'm not running," she said when he froze. "I just need space." "You don't have to leave." "I do," she replied gently, "because this stopped being a job." Raphael said nothing. He didn't stop her. That night, alone in the penthouse, the silence felt unbearable. For the first time in his life, Raphael understood something terrifying. The maid he hired to fix his image had become the one thing he couldn't replace, and losing her might cost him more than $1 billion deal. If you're still here, don't forget to like and subscribe, because what happens next isn't about reputation anymore. It's about choice. Lena didn't leave quietly. By the next morning, the media knew. Not because she spoke, but because her absence spoke louder than any statement Raphael could have issued. The woman who had softened his image, grounded his public appearances, and reminded people he was capable of listening was suddenly gone, and the world noticed. Where's Lena? Did the maid who changed a billionaire walk away? Was it all an act? Raphael sat alone in the boardroom as the headlines scrolled across the screen behind the executives. For the first time since the scandal broke, no one was arguing. No one was blaming. They were watching him. "This is your moment," one board member said carefully. "You can cut ties now. Say it was temporary. Salvage the deal." Raphael stood slowly. "No," he said. The room stiffened. "She wasn't hired to be discarded," he continued, "and I won't lie to protect myself anymore." "You'll lose the contract," another executive warned. Raphael nodded once. "Then I lose it." He walked out before they could respond. Across the city, Lena was back in a small apartment that smelled faintly of detergent and familiarity. It wasn't much, but it was hers. She stood at the window, phone buzzing endlessly on the table behind her, untouched. She hadn't expected him to come after her. She needed to know who he was without her standing beside him. 3 days passed. Then Raphael Caine did something no one expected. He held a press conference alone. No polished speeches, no handlers, no Lena to soften the edges. "I hired Lena because I needed my image fixed," he said plainly. "That's the truth." The reporters leaned forward. "But I kept her because she made me confront who I had become, and when she walked away, I realized something I'd avoided my entire life." He paused. "I don't deserve loyalty I haven't earned, and I don't want power that costs me my humanity." Silence followed. "I'm stepping back from the contract," Raphael finished, "and from any deal that requires me to perform instead of be accountable." The fallout was immediate. Stocks dipped, analysts panicked, critics mocked him. But something else happened too. People listened. Lena saw the clip late that night. She watched it once, then again. He hadn't defended himself. He told the truth. The knock came the next evening. When she opened the door, Raphael stood there, without a suit, without confidence as armor, just a man holding his breath. "I'm not here to ask you back," he said. "I just needed you to know I finally understood." She searched his face. Understood what? That fixing an image is easy. Fixing a man isn't. Silence stretched between them. "I lost the deal," he added quietly. Lena nodded. "And how do you feel?" "Terrified," he admitted. "And relieved." She stepped aside. They talked for hours. No contracts, no plans. Just honesty. When Raphael left, nothing was promised, but something was real. Weeks later, a new headline appeared. Billionaire launches Ethics First initiative. No PR team involved. Lena wasn't mentioned. She didn't need to be, because this time, Raphael Caine wasn't changing for the world. He was changing for himself, And for the first time, the woman who owned his heart didn't have to clean up after his mistakes. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us, because the next one will go even deeper.